So I had a lovely chat with your mothers, and I want to ask you first the question of what is your perception of your mother and her physical image, like as a daughter? Like for me, when I was growing up, I thought my mother was the most glamorous thing that ever lived. Do you know what I mean? And so I want to know what your perception of your mother is.
Okay. I think she's great. I always look up to her all the time. Like when she wears her hair down and curly like she had it today. I like my hair doesn't curl like hers does. Like I love the way she wears it. And my mom's a dancer too. She's a dance teacher. So sometimes like when she does some kind of moves or whatever, I'm like, oh my god, I wish I could do it like you. Oh wow. So I just look up to her like that,
So,
like in dance.
so you would want to model after your mother?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Becca.
Well, my mom is very confident, I think, in her body, and like if she feels like she like needs something changed, then she'll just do it. She's not like one of those people that will be like oh, like I don't like this, and they just like I need to change this, but they don't do anything about it. Like she'll do that, so I look up to that. But so yeah.
I see a lot of myself in my mom. I think she's a very beautiful woman, and she's very smart, and like I'll go to her for advice whenever I need to. I feel like I can really talk to her about anything that like comes up, whether it's a bad day or something with my friends or something like that, and I feel like she will always be there for me. And like she was a dancer. She went to LaGuardia, and she was a great dancer, and I think that like I can always go to her for stuff like that also.
What I think is interesting is that all of you, I think I asked the question about the physical, but all of you basically told me something, a characteristic about your mother's personalities. No. This is important because you see your mothers as your mothers and not as a form necessarily. Is that what you're saying to me? Mm-hmm. That's important to know for you all, but also for them, because, you know, what we discussed before you came on was that as older women, we share the same sort of, or we thought we shared the same sort of insecurities that you have, but apparently you might not have any. So clearly we're just screwed up. Great! So now we should be talking to you.
I think it's more just a different generation and a different type of family. Like I overheard them speaking about like what their family didn't have was that sort of bond, and I think because they didn't have that bond, they gave it to us, and so it made us grow up different than them. Yeah.
Okay. So do you guys have an open sort of relationship and dialogue about things like body image and things like this? Do you feel like you can go like, oh, mom, I want to talk about this, or you see something that disturbed you, you have an open conversation about things like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you want to tell me more about it? Would you like to share?
I don't know. I can talk to her about anything. If I see something that looks a little weird or I don't know about, I could go like, oh, what does that mean? Or in words in a song. Like if I don't know what it means, like I can ask her about it, and you know, she'll tell me what it is, and I'm like, oh, okay. Or like something on TV that we're watching, like if I don't get it, I'm like, well, what does that mean? You know, she's like, I can talk
have
to
you
her
ever
about it.
discussed like, oh my God, I'm getting boobs. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness,
yeah, I could definitely, yeah.
my period just came on. What is that?
Yeah, definitely. I could talk to her about anything.
You've had those discussions.
Yes.
Do you feel comfortable? I mean, like relatively, because it's always like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But do you feel like, okay, this is kind of strange, but it's kind of cool?
No.
Because they've gone through it. So it's like if we ask them about it, they'll know what to tell us. They'll have the advice. And yeah, this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen at this certain time. So
Do you go to your mother first, or do you go to your peers first?
Mother.
Sometimes it depends.
Yeah, it depends.
on the.
I mean, like I'm very comfortable with discussing honestly anything and everything with my mom. Like like we're kind of like sisters. Like we fight all the time, but we also like can come to each other for whatever it is, whether it's like I said, school or dance. And I think what plays part in it is that like if I'm at school and something happens, or if I have a question about, like I'll ask my friends first because they're there and like I can trust them.
But you take it back.
But like I'll go home and be like, so like this happened, like I don't understand this, and like I'll talk to my mom about what I questioned in school and like that.
Is it easier to approach issues like, you know, body image or even sexuality or maturing developmental things when it's put in a context that doesn't involve you? Do you find yourself discussing, you know what I mean? Like you can discuss your friends, but not that I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So are you saying no? No. That's normal. I think that's probably normal. But like you go like, oh well, I have some friends who have issues with da 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 da, and then you all can start talking about it. So you're having kind of like, no, you're having like the undercover conversation
I get what you're saying.
about. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. That's what you're saying. That's the conversation. You're having the you get what I'm saying conversation.
Yes, yeah. I mean, like, I feel like it's no matter if it's your mom or your friend, it's always easier to talk to someone else about a problem that someone else is having.
Right.
You know?
I have a friend. Right. Because here's what's funny is that like so then you're the only person that I met today, but like I know your life because I know your mother, but I know you all and I talk to you all and I know how you talk to me and I know you're talking today with your mother sitting over there, and I get that you're open, but I also feel like you're being polite or you're being cautious about share, which is okay because I think that this is part of what this whole conversation is about, is the idea that we feel the need to do that, but while you're saying, oh, I can talk to her about anything, you're still guarded in a way. Is that fair to say? Let me ask you why. Why would you feel guarded?
I don't feel guarded.
She's like, I don't feel guarded. Just
I don't feel guarded.
body language cross, shut you out.
No,
I don't feel guarded.
I really don't feel guarded.
Okay.
So.
But don't you find it interesting? Like, I know that I could have certain conversations. And my mother was not a talker. I don't know where I got that from. But she wasn't. But I would force her. I was the one who was more, like, we're going to talk about this.
Oh, well, I feel like it's the opposite for me. Like, my mom will, like, okay, so sometimes when we're talking, she's like, I feel like pulling teeth. Like, the conversation feels like pulling teeth. Because, like, I don't know, I feel like at the same time that I can tell her everything, I'll tell her the situation, but not every detail of the situation. So I think that's where the boundary sort of lays. But, like, I feel like my mom is the person to come to me and tell me, so how was your day today?
Right.
Like, what did you do? Like, is there anything wrong? And then at the same time, like, I'll tell her.
Yeah. Do you feel the same? Is that sort of do you guys model that? And you take it for granted that they're the mother, so they're going to get it, right? And so that they'll just show up with the support, right? Okay.